Have you ever had one of those days where everything feels wrong? You just woke up and it's just heavy. The sky looks grey. The room feels smaller and it's hard to explain why. Maybe no one notices. Maybe you feel invincible. But then something small, something you didn't see, gives you a tiny spark of hope. So today we're going to read The Red Tree by Shantan. Notice the red leaf in all the pages as I read. Every picture, every color, and even every word they've used here has meaning to it. The story begins with a red hair girl talking on the loudspeaker, and all her words are falling down. Sometimes the day begins with nothing to look forward to, and things go from bad to worse. Darkness overcomes you. Nobody understands. The world is a deaf machine. Sometimes you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, but nothing ever happens. Then all your troubles come at once. Wonderful things are passing you by. Sometimes you just don't know what you're supposed to do, or who you are meant to be, or where you are. And the day seems to end the way it began. But then suddenly, there it is, right in front of you, bright and vivid, quietly waiting, just as you imagined it would be. The narrative of the story begins with the emotional journey of the little girl who wakes up in her bedroom overwhelmed by her troubles and her worries. The plot of the story is depicted mainly through portrayal of strong visuals. As you can see on the screen, this little girl walks through the city towered by tall, gigantic buildings. The author creates a juxtaposition where he portrays the buildings very tall and this girl is portrayed tiny, showcasing that she's very lonely. And also there is nobody around her who's interacting with her. Everyone's busy doing their own thing, which also can showcase that she's lonely. And also the big gigantic fish which overshadows the little girl can also symbolize that she is intimidated by her troubles. The story doesn't follow a traditional narrative pattern. It's mainly narrated through the use of strong visuals and words being hardly used. In terms of the setting, the literal setting is the urban city, what we see in the picture with buildings, busy people, and machineries. The second one is an emotional setting in which it shows our inner emotions by using words and visuals with fantasy. Example, the giant fish in the middle of the city can be portraying the intimidation of the troubles of the girl. And also, the monstrous machinery can be portraying the authoritative, a nasty figure in the society which the girl lives in. The mood and imagery is created initially through color using somber sepia tones to depict the sad, lonely, depressive state of the mind of the girl, which is later uplifted through the use of bright red color in the end of the narrative. The gigantic fish, the monstrous looking machine, a giant bird like creature, along with the dull sepia color tones, creates a surreal dreamlike imagery, and the unengaging gesture of the girl throughout the story also creates the isolated, confused, and sad imagery of the girl's inner emotions. The second person narrative, You, invites the reader to be a part of the girl's emotional struggles. The bolding of text, use of metaphor, the world is a deaf machine, along with the strong visual compositions, effectively creates the imagery of the girl's emotions such as loneliness, sadness, depression, and confusion. In terms of perspective, we can talk about the author's perspective and the reader's perspective. Shontan's first-hand experience in depression and his interest in exploring negative emotions is symbolically shown by the black leaves in the bedroom, portraying the overwhelming troubles. The girl being stuck in a bottle, portraying isolation and a state of depression. From a reader's perspective, for example, a person who has gone through mental health issues can very closely relate to this narrative. Also, the red tree, which symbolizes hope and renewal here, can be considered as a sign of prosperity from a Chinese perspective. But in some European cultures, it could also symbolize danger and anger. The text doesn't follow a traditional narrative structure. Instead, it shows the inner emotional transformation of the girl through multimodal features of strong visuals and sparsely used text, like what's shown on the screen. The overall structure is based on the inner emotional state of the girl, and it's also open to interpretation. The main ideas explored in this text are isolation, hope, resilience, and identity. For example, hope is shown through the bright red leaf and the red tree, and isolation is shown through the girl walking amidst the tall towering buildings of the city in a hunched manner. Shontan uses words sparsely yet ties it up with strong visuals to portray the inner emotions of the girl strongly. Fonts are spaced out for the reader to read slowly and experience the girl's emotional struggles. The black font throughout the book again shows the negative emotions of the girl, and finally, when there is hope, the font gets lighter. The somber sepia-colored visuals bring out the inner emotional struggles of the girl. The juxtaposition of the girl and Snail shows that she has been waiting for so long, time has moved, but she cannot see a solution for her troubles. Hence the written text and visuals do contribute strongly, together effectively portray the narrative of the story, that is the emotional struggles of the girl. The main character is the young red-haired girl, which is relatable to Stage 3 students. She is shown as an archetype of a lost girl searching for identity and meaning to life amidst her troubles. She shows resilience as she pushes through every challenge. For example, the flooding of the black leaves symbolizing her overwhelming troubles. She then gets pushed in the sea in a rough storm in a lifeboat symbolizing the intensity of her troubles. Yet she patiently waits till she finds hope at the end. The narrative is mainly based on the girl's emotional setting. It is portrayed through her inner thoughts, such as, sometimes the day begins with nothing to look forward to. The world is a death machine, portraying her feeling of loneliness, sadness, and depression. The physical setting keeps changing as per the girl's inner emotions. Shontan uses authentic, easily relatable places like the bedroom, the city, along with fantasy, like the giant fish in the city, the monstrous machineries in the city to create surrealism and effectively portrays the girl's inner emotional state. Shontan therefore uses strong symbolism to portray the emotional setting of the girl. The viewers are observers here, as she gazes away from the viewers but towards the seedling. The medium shot creates a natural social distance, allowing viewers to see the facial expressions of the girl, of being confused or unsure when looking at the seedling. Moreover, the dull somber colors inside the room and outside the window shows the negative emotional state of the girl. Salient features are the girl with the red hair and the contrast of light and darkness in the room, which guides us to read the visual and identify its meaning. In the double page layout, the given left-hand side with the blank page with somber sepia colors and the written text in black shows her negative emotions of sadness and loneliness. The new in the right-hand side with girl opening the door, gazing at the seedling with the light illuminating on them symbolizes hope and renewal. The diagonal angle of the light from the doorway guides the gaze of the girl towards the seedling, creating a spark of hope and positivity. The words bright and vivid, quietly waiting implies the seedling as a symbol of hope. The world is a death machine is one of my favorite phrases which brings a negative connotation in the text. The line mirrors our current lives where people don't have time for each other. Thereby, they fail to see the silent emotional struggles of people who need help. The red tree uses strong symbolism throughout the story to portray the inner emotions of the girl. For language study, students will be asked in groups to identify the symbolism used to express the main ideas which are explored in the book, such as isolation, identity, hope, and resilience, and then to justify them. All groups will be given a soft copy of the book and a couple of A4 sheets to create a table like shown on the screen and list down their answers. A modeled example would be shown like what's on the screen before the activity. As you know, the Red Tree is a postmodern picture book. Students will be given a brief explanation about the features of a postmodern picture book and asked to write their personal interpretations of a visual from the book The Red Tree, depicting the ideas of identity, hope, or isolation. They will use their knowledge on language features and visual analysis for this activity. Students will use the show don't tell style when writing their interpretations. Examples of show don't tell would be given and explained like shown on the slide. They would also be given a success criteria guiding them on what needs to be included in their interpretations. The learning intention here is to allow students to analyze and respond orally to literary texts, a book talk strategy. Post reading the book The Red Tree aloud, students will be posted with some questions about the book and questions on making text to self and text to world connections. They will then think, pair, share with their partners and orally respond to the questions which is shown on the screen. As an extension, students will be asked to analyze using their knowledge on visual analysis of the short film, that is, The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Maurice Lesmore, and compare it with the book The Red Tree. They will analyze and compare both texts based on the questions given on the screen. Students will be asked to use their senses and list down what they see and feel from a visual from the book, The Red Tree, as a sensory writing activity. Using this list, students will be asked to write a short paragraph interpreting a visual from the main book, that's The Red Tree. As a scaffold, they would also be given sentence starters as given on the slide. Worst Things, a free verse novel by Sally Murphy, could be used to explore the ideas of resilience, identity, and belonging through the character analysis of the three characters. The Arrival, a graphic novel without text by Sean Tan, is recommended, where students will use their knowledge on visual analysis and explore the ideas of resilience, identity, and belonging. As these texts are of different genres and written by Australian authors, it satisfies the New South Wales 2022 text requirements. The red tree could be used as a text to create a hot-seating activity for drama, thereby fostering critical thinking skills, oral skills, understanding perspectives, and empathizing with the character. This question and answer activity hereby allows to create meaning through performance.